welcome. This is The Process. My name is Dr. John Bush. We are on lesson 136. This is my journey looking at consistency of the median. This is about part 9 here. So we've got a few more lessons to go here. This is a team by team kind of drive-by look at player consistency in 2021, just kind of setting the table in terms of consistency, median consistency in a weekly way. And you need to go all the way back to lesson 128 to start this block here. And so I'm going to continue team by team, and we'll kind of just hit the high points and roll on, just to kind of establish kind of a reference class forecasting model that we need to update for 2022, but you got to start somewhere. So with that said, let's roll on here. So the previous lesson, we left off here coming into Detroit. And again, this is 2021, and we look at year, team, position, player, average of the COM, which is the counts over median. So this is a weekly statistic. Again, 128, the lesson takes you through this. But I looked all the way across the whole 2021 season and figured out basically percentage-wise of the games played by the player, how many were above the median for that position. So you can imagine that in this case, Goff at 21%, that's, out of 100% scale, not good. I did tweak and scale it to the whole league here, and it only still went to about 36%. So we're talking the bottom third here. Nothing really exciting about Goff's performance here. Swift, on the other hand, comes in at a 65%. This is good enough to get lots of attention that we should focus on. Jamal Williams, I don't know if he's still there, but if he is, he was only at 11%. So wasn't as, I'd love to see a handcuff kind of player or change the pace a little bit stronger than that, at least close to half the strength of the main guy, but that's not what we're seeing. Hockenson was kind of poo-pooed last year, but he brought in, he's at 72%, and for tight ends, that level of consistency, it's taking you out of, you got to score a touchdown each week kind of tight end to be relevant. So Hockenson got enough play there, and I think he's, fifth? And probably he is probably priced right. So he's definitely somebody, if you don't get somebody early, Kelsey, the Andrew type, then he might be somebody to look at. A lot of publicity for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Caleb Raymond, but both of those guys really, and I think one might argue, is it Goff's fault, or what was the whole problem here? But they were 23 and 16%. So I know Amon-Ra's getting some play out there, some publicity, but it's this whole concept of we're anticipating something. And when you start stepping away from the data and thinking things, and then it gets into the world of opinion. And metrics are, of across the board going to do you better than opinions across the board. There are some super forecasters out there. There's a whole book on the super forecasting, but let's just say it's a small percentage of people will be so-called super forecasters, right? As far as in fantasy. So it's a rarity. Everybody thinks they drive above average. Come on now. So I like metrics. So to me, when you step outside of the actual data, then you walk into the minefield of uncertainty. Doesn't mean people won't be right or maybe they're wrong, but at least you need to know that you're walking around and maybe you're gonna, you could step in the wrong place and it could blow up in you. So as long as you're aware of the tsunami that could hit you, the black swan things, like I don't know what's going to hit me, but I need to be thinking about that. That's about the best you can do. And I think this is an example of that. And he's not the only one at all. And I also show you a bar graph and plot their scaled comp score, and I draw the line at 50%. That really gets my attention. This is probably too conservative. I don't care. I like to be conservative, uh, you know, and I take gambles, okay, but I like to know kind of a foundation of where things are. And right now we're talking Swift, and Hawkinson were the show as far as that level of consistency in 2021. And there's nothing that I see would uh, uh, change that for 2022, right? So we're hoping they'll just at least continue at the level they were. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers delivered 56 percent, but for quarterbacks, if you scale it up, it's about 94%. So that's not bad for a quarterback, but just be aware that quarterbacks have sometimes are not the most consistent positions here, but he definitely gets my attention there, and I think he's a bargain right now, at where I think his ADP is 13th or so. So to me, that's a bargain. Aaron Jones and Dylan, big controversy between these two, who's who and what's what. Here's the data: 47 versus 25. To me, this is the relationship I normally expect the main guy and then half of that to be the handcuff type. So kind of a 2/3 Aaron Jones, 1/3 Dylan kind of distribution of consistency. Uh, if maybe since Adams is gone, is there going to be more pressure on the running backs? I'm sorry, hit my yawn here. So just be aware, the data shows that Jones over Dillon. Tanyan was 36%. That's probably tied into ish, so nothing to jump up and down about. Adams is gone, so who is left here? Let's see, is Lazard still there? I'm sorry. Cobb maybe. I don't know who all's left, but the rest of the crew was fighting to be second in consistency, but they pretty much were all about the same player in consistency. So that's a weird situation here, and I believe people are trying to say that Rodgers won't be able to help whoever's left to move up and take Adams' place. The data would probably be more supportive of that hypothesis than not, but that's what it was for 2021. So I do like Aaron Rodgers, but this, I mean, he's what is he, 13th ADP? There's uncertainty to that. It's not a surefire thing, or he'd be much higher. And people are, I think, looking at this. I'm probably not looking at consistency of the median. That's probably I'm the only one doing that. But thinking about who's going to step up, and uh, pretty thin on who's going to step up, folks. So maybe did they get a rookie or two or something? Maybe. And if they did, maybe that will work. So I think this tells you to watch the training camps, try to kind of use your Ouija board, but realize you're stepping out into the uncertainty zone here, regardless of what, the tea leaves are telling you, in July, August here. Just be aware. This could be a really tricky situation for Green Bay. I think most people are anticipating. Rodgers, Jones is close to the 50 percentile, and Adams is gone. He definitely is worthy of support uh, elsewhere. So, you got to like that. But I think Aaron Jones has an opportunity this year to really move forward. We'll see. Does Dillon catch up? Does Jones increase? There's some questions there on their battle. Okay, Houston, Mills got a lot of publicity, but consistency wise, he wasn't. 25%. That's weak sauce. I don't think Taylor's even starting. I think they're going with Mills, assuming, the experience, everything. So they're anticipating, here's the uncertainty zone here, anticipating him moving up. But 2021 was sad sauce there. Nothing, nothing stood out in the running back world here at all. It was sad, inconsistent to the squared, inconsistent squared. That's what it was. Remember your math lessons. Uh, Brevin, Brevin Jordan was about a 32% tight end. That's about a tight end two type. Nothing excited there. The only excitement was Brandon Cooks bringing home at 57%. So he hits that 50 percentile. But who's going to step up with him? I have no clue. It was sad potatoes for the rest of them there, folks, and I'm not sure who's left. As all the folks leave the sinking ship there, so I don't know who's left, but Brandon Cooks is pretty much going to be the show there. So just on target wise, he's probably worth where he's going, or maybe even a little bit better, because it's like you're struggling to find who's the show here, and it looks like it's a one-person show, and that's Cooks. And let's see, so Taylor hit the 50% mark, and Cooks did, and Taylor doesn't even rate a starting position here. I don't know if he's still there or not. But anyway, they're going to try to go with Mills. We'll see. But again, you're anticipating, so you're stepping in the uncertainty minefield here. Cooks looks like the sure thing, and is probably worth being on your team. Indianapolis, they went out and got Matt Ryan because Carson Wentz gave them 39% consistency, which is below where quarterbacks should be. Quarterbacks should be at least 50 percentile or better to at least get you something. So Carson Wentz, I don't know if he's still there. Maybe he is. who knows? Certainly, their worst case backup play here. Jonathan Taylor is the Jonathan Taylor show, 100% scaled. The sadness is Hines, people squawking about him, but he really didn't deliver too much. He should have been much better off in not seeing it. So there's an anticipation that he's going to be better than he was, but there's the data, 16, 17%. Doyle, Mo Alley Cox, they were tied in 3-ish. They kind of cut into each other. Matt Ryan loves his tight ends, so maybe there is a resurgence, but again, we're anticipating that. So it's a lot of uncertainty here about the tight end position. But from 2021, nothing really was happening there. Pittman figures at 54%. That's good. Everybody thinks it's a one-person show, kind of like Cooks and Houston. Here we go, Pittman. They may be overvaluing him, but Ryan does love his alpha wide receiver, so everybody's anticipating that Ryan's going to give Pittman, at least keep him at that level, which is fine. But then again, who's left here? Pretty sad potatoes for the rest of them there, folks. Nothing really sticks out to me from 2021 here. It was Taylor, and I pushed my line up. That's my bad. This line should be here at the 50%, and Pittman should have been above that threshold. So we got Pittman and Taylor. Everybody else, Jacksonville, Lawrence, inconsistent. 19%. That is just sad, and I think it's going to be another sad season. But people are anticipating something. James Robinson, regardless of all the squawk, brought home at 60%, and he is going way late and his worth every time you could throw at him in your drafts. Not saying pick him first, I'm saying you could wait and put him in your pocket and he's going to deliver more than you paid for it. He is the overlay kind of play here, and don't know if he stays at 60%, but that was, a nice scaled consistency number there. Nothing happening in the tight end. Did they get somebody? They may have. Like it did. So if they brought somebody in, that person is probably going to be better than who's there. And I just don't know. Taylor didn't make any of the rest of them do anything consistently. So I'm skeptical, but we'll see. Chark, Jones, I guess they're still there. Is Chenault still there? They were sad show there. They were 30% Chark and Jones, so you get what you get there. That's about a wide receiver 3, 4, 5 types. So nothing to write home about. But if you have a deep bench, it might be worth a stab on one of those. Okay, but if you look across, sure thing, it was only James Robinson, and you don't hear anybody squawking about that. It is what it is. He was consistent. Kansas City, Mahomes bringing home the bacon at 78. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So that's, to me, he is worthy of, the top 5 here. I don't know if he's top 3. I think people are drafting there, but he's definitely worth an early pick if that's how you go. I like more late round quarterback types, but hey, sometimes he might drop late and it's worth a pick. The running backs were sad. Salaire, Williams, it's just lots of sadness. I think they had to bring somebody in or something, but we're talking 28-16. There's almost very little difference between CEH and Daryl Williams, I guess, if he's still there. So I don't know who they're bringing in, but that would, to me, only kind of divide the pie even more. So I don't know. I'm not looking to grab any of those. Tight end, it's the Kelsey show all day long. He's worth your pick. He's the best tight end in 2021. And there's and Holmes has shown he can make him that kind of player. So I don't know if he's worth a 5 or 6 pick now, but in tight end premium leagues, he's going way early like that. Tyreek Hill is gone, so who is left? So there's the issue with Mahomes. People are squawking and anticipating that Mahomes, like Rodgers, can make some heroes. Thing about Rodgers, he doesn't have a Kelsey to lean on. Mahomes does. So I could see, and I don't know, I think they drafted some rookies. I could see, mid-season that somebody's breaking out and being the alpha, but from 2021, we would just have to anticipate who that is. It was underwhelming, all these cats here. So, I'm going to be watching and seeing how it all goes later in this, but I'm not looking to grab any of these anytime early in the draft for sure. But we'll see. Again, it was Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill is gone. That was the show. So, Justin, the Chargers, 88%, that is kick butt. He is worth an early pick, just like Mahomes. Eckler, when he was healthy, brought it home. Can't say anything about the rest of them. There was no number 2 inconsistency. They were all dealing from the sadness deck there. Sadness, all those. I think did they go get Everett or somebody? But Cook, I think, was kind of declining. So right now, looking at who's left there, and I think they brought in, that may be a tight end 2 for Everett there. But there is some activity, but he was splitting the show with 2 or 3 or 4 of those, so that's underwhelming for me. Keenan Allen, he just keeps delivered every year, 65, and Mike Williams at 40. So they're not as close as you may have thought last year, but definitely a 1 and a 2 type of wide receivers. Guyton, Palmer, we're fighting for the third, fourth shot. Not sure they're going to take any steps forward in consistency here. So it's hard to see the Chargers really doing anything more than they did last year, which is fine for fantasy. I don't know for their playoff hopes, though. Not sure how all that's going to fly. So we're talking Eckler, Justin, Allen, and Williams is close, but he did make it at the 50 percentile. Rams, Stafford, 88%. He's all good. So he should be in the top 5 as well. I don't know where he's going right now. I forgot, but he may be going further than that. So he's probably worth a play there. The problem is nobody was really consistent in the running back. You may have lots of discussion about Cam Akers, Henderson, Sony Michel. Nobody really took the consistency bull by the horn. So I'm not sure there's any kind of movement forward here. So we'll see. I don't know if they got a rookie or don't know if they got free agents right now. I had just kind of focused on 2021 there a little bit. Higbee at 19, people want him to be better than he was. Maybe he was injured. I don't know. I'll let somebody else draft him. Cooper Kupp's the show. Woods is gone. So maybe Jefferson. I don't know if Sean is even playing anymore. I don't know who. I think they may have got. I don't know who else. Did they get Lazard? Did they get Adams maybe? No. Who'd they get? Robinson? So maybe there's a spot for Robinson there. But I think Van Jefferson is going to be competitive with Robinson. But that's just anticipating. 20% is still wide receiver 4 territory. So Woods, I know, is with Tennessee, but 43 is not bad for a wide receiver 2-3 type. So keep that going there. So for 2021, it was Stafford and Kupp, and Woods was close at 40, but no cigar there. The Raiders, Carr was ho-hum at about 49%. That's a late QB1, QB2 type. You're streaming if you're using him. Nothing really happening for the running backs as far as consistency. Pretty damn bad, actually. Nobody got above 20%. So that's just deep sadness there. Lots of squawking, but nobody put it together. Waller, 50%. Okay. I don't know if he's worth where he's going, but 50% is not bad for a scaled consistency score. But I'm not, looking to reach him at where he's going. Was he number 2 or 3 or 4? I'm letting others draft him there. Renfro did make the 50% mark, so there's an anticipation that stays, so I can see that. Henry Ruggs at 38, that's, he could be a wide receiver 3 type. Not expecting those to make much forward headway here in 2022, but again, that's expecting, and that is always brings in the uncertainty for us. Nobody really hit the benchmark of the 50%. Oh, actually, my bad. This should be the line. So Carr was close. Waller did hit it, and Renfro hit it. Allergies here. Okay, so Ruggs didn't do too bad, but didn't hit 40%. Miami, Tua, 25%. That is quarterback 2-ish late. I don't know. Not enamored. Everybody's expecting him to move forward with Tyreek Hill. We'll see. Gaskins and Duke Johnson traded consistency at around 30 something percent. They brought in a bunch of other people. So trouble is, I don't anticipate whoever they brought in is going to be much above what Gaskins and Johnson gave them last year. So I think that stays about the same. Gesicki's 42%. That's a late tight end 1. You're probably streaming with him. But late tight end, you could make work with the streaming. Waddle at 40%, people are anticipating that move, but with bringing Tyreek Hill in, I don't know. Parker was at 26. That wasn't too bad, about a wide receiver 4 type. That's the show, those three. So it looks to me if Hill can regain, he'd be the one, Waddle two, Parker three. But yeah, I'm not seeing miracles happening in Miami as far as looking at this. But people anticipate. Nobody hit the 50% mark here. Gesicki and Waddle were close at 40%. So some sadness. Minnesota, Kirk Cousins at 72 is worth a pickup, and he's going late. He's your late quarterback target, one of them right there. Dalvin Cook brought it home at 54%, and Madison about half that. Madison's a good uh, handcuff only, okay? But don't take him too early because he's inconsistent until Cook's gone, and then you get maybe half of what Cook gave you. So people kind of misread the tea leaves there. Conklin at 34, that's tied in two type, really. I don't anticipate anything other than what we got last year. Jefferson and Thielen. Thielen's going late. I don't get that. That was Jefferson strong at 77%. And if you like Jefferson, I don't know why you don't like Thielen. Everybody's talking about he's getting old. Hey, 60%. If he can do that again, he's a wide receiver two, strong type. He's who you want and to back up your wide receiver one right there. And Osborne at 30% is worth a 3-4 pickup. So there's some bargains with him. I've picked him up way late in some leagues right now. People forgot. So there's nice little targets there in Minnesota. People are underplaying Cousins' show here. So I would not do that. I think there are bargains to be had in Minnesota. Enjoy the gifts people are given. Look at the ADPs. Look at 2021. Cousins, Cook, Jefferson, Thielen. It's all good. And Osborne late. It's all good. 4 above the threshold. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, I am finished with this block of teams. Come back, and I got one more lesson finishing up all the NFL teams through the lens of consistency numbers. Okay, and that's kind of in a weekly tool here. And you could go to Science of Fantasy website, find the podcast, find my partner D-Mike's consistency, weekly consistency value tools, find all my video lessons like this, etc., etc., etc. This is Dr. Bush. This is extra amount of fun. Woo woo.